Dear friends, on behalf of 1.25 crore civil engineers across India, I wish to bring to your kind attention about the serious implications of the draft proposal of amendments to the Architects Act 1972. While several clauses have been proposed for revision, one particular clause has been taken here for the discussion. One of the clauses is the introduction of architectural services. Under this, it mentions that architectural services includes providing architectural design and related detailing for any built environment and preparing relevant drawings and documents required for approval from statutory bodies for construction on-site and for appropriate project delivery in conformity with development control regulations, bylaws and things like that. This seemingly simple clause that has far-reaching and concerning implications for civil engineers working across central government, state government, public sector units, academic engineers, private sector and independent professionals. Let us break down why this proposed definition poses a significant threat to the professional domain of civil engineers. One by one, let me take it. Number one, in this I take related detailing for any built environment. What it means? This phrase is overly broad and ambiguous. It potentially encompasses all core functions of civil engineers such as planning and layout design, soil investigation, foundation and structural detailing, materials engineering and selection, execution, supervision and project management, MEP services, integration, etc. These are not merely related to architecture, they are the distinct civil engineering domains. Please try to understand. Now, the second term that I would like to take is the built environment. What is this term indicates? It is very much defined in the broadly that it is urban planning and infrastructure sectors that includes buildings, residential complexes, roads, bridges, ports, airports, dams, canals, irrigation structures, industrial facilities, etc. Effectively, it covers all man-made infrastructure, much of which falls strictly within the civil engineering expertise. The next term that I would like to mention here is the relevant drawings and documents required for approval. Now, as per the National Building Code (NBC), now the project approval or the plan sanction includes site and topographical survey reports, soil testing and geotechnical details, foundation feasibility reports, structural feasibility reports and the design and drawings, estimations, certificates for the commencement and completion, stability certificates, supervision details and the engagement certificates of the professionals and things like that. These are the traditionally and legally under the purview of licensed civil engineers. Now, the next term is drawings for the construction on-site. This expands the scope which includes good for construction drawings, which includes it may be architectural drawings, structural drawings, foundation drawings, service drawings, construction methodologies, MEP details, allied systems. Once again, these are the integral components of a civil engineer's scope of work. And last but not the least, appropriate project delivery they want to bring under architectural services. What is this appropriate project delivery means? It means detailed project report, that is DPR preparations or estimations, then environmental impact assessments, tender documentation, bid process management, contractor selection, billing, certification. These are all nothing but the civil engineers who are leading these processes across the infrastructure and government projects will fall under the architectural services. Now, the real concern is if this particular clause is passed as it is, it will legally subordinate the civil engineers to architects by placing nearly all civil engineering service under the label of architectural services. It is a direct encroachment on the well-defined domain of civil engineering. Such language can cause irreparable harm to our profession, disrupt existing roles in government and private sectors, and create confusion in statutory processes. The overlap will not just dilute the civil engineer's authority but also compromise the clarity and efficiency of the project delivery across India. Now my final appeal to all our fraternity is, let us stand united to ensure that this clause is revised to clearly demarcate the professional boundaries between the architects and civil engineers in line with the existing laws, codes and engineering practices as per NBC and other relevant practices. It is the time for professional bodies, institutions, individuals to raise their voice and seek the protection of civil engineering as profession both in law and in practice. Jai Hind. Thank you.